Okay, so let's proceed with factoring perfect square trinomial. So we have here two formulas. So if you are given this formula and this formula, so they differ only on the sign of our middle term. The first formula is positive and the second is negative, and that will greatly affect for factors, because if we have a positive middle term, our factors will all be positive, and if you have a negative in the middle term, all factors will also be negative. Or you can express that in the manner of a square of a binomial, square of a sum, or square of a difference of two terms. So let us try to solve first this example given here on your modules. 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So if you're going to factor perfect square trinomial, you will have to identify first if the given expression is a perfect square trinomial. So what are the things that you will have to consider or will help tell you that the given trinomial is perfect square? So there are three. The first one is the first term should be a perfect square. The last term also should be perfect square. And the third one, your middle term should what do you call this one? Should the factors of this, like for example here, this is 2x. This should be the product of the factors of our first and our third term. So this is 1. And if you recall your grade 7 lesson about square of a binomial, the question is, if you have recalled your grade 7 lesson about squaring a binomial. Okay? So that one, I am going to discuss that one in a separate video, and I'm going to share that to you again for you to recall that lesson. But for now, let us focus first on factoring perfect square trinomial. So in factoring perfect square trinomial, it's very easy. If the given expression, let us say if the given expression is a perfect square trinomial, all we have to do is just focus on the first and the last term. Why I say focus on the first and the last term? Because those are the terms only that we're going to solve in order for us to get for the correct answer. But if the question, if there is a question like this one, which of the following is a perfect square trinomial, that would be a different question, because you're going to consider your middle term. If your middle term will give an exact value of the factors of your first and last term after multiplying by 2. Again, that lesson will be on the separate video that I'm going to discuss. All of the special products I'm going to discuss in one video only. Okay? So here, for our first term, 4x squared, what we're going to do is get the square root of this one. And for our last term, get the square root of 1 also. So what is the square root of your 4x squared? Or you may have it expand or find a number that is multiplied, an expression that is multiplied by itself. I think that is easier. So let us have 4x squared. Let us try to think of a number that is multiplied by itself, that the product is 4. And that is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And with regards to our variable x squared, yes, that is x. So therefore, if we multiply 2x times 2x, the product is 4x squared. Now for our 1, there's no number other than 1 multiplied by itself. The answer is 1. So therefore, 1 times 1, the answer is 1. So what we're going to do is just combine these two factors, and whatever the sign of our middle term will be the sign also of our two factors. Then get our first factor of our 2x squared, and that is 4x squared, that is 2x. Write 2x on both factors. Then since we already identified the sign, again, our sign is dependent on our given trinomial. Since that is negative, this is also negative. And factors of 1 is 1. Therefore, our factor is 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. Or, you may express this in a square of the difference of two terms or square of binomial, in which we're going to copy only 1 but expressing it in a square. So the squared of the negative or difference of 2x and 1. So you may have this as an answer or this as an answer, doesn't matter, they're just the same. Okay? Let's proceed to your activity. Let's try this. Number 1, 2, and 3. Let us solve all those numbers. X squared minus 2x plus 1. So like what we did before, just get your first term x squared and your last term 1 and find an expression that is being multiplied or that is multiplied by itself, that the product is the first and the last term. So for our x squared, this is x times x, and for our 1, that is 1 times 1. And then write it as factors of two terms. So we will have x. Again, our sign is dependent on the middle term, minus 1, and x minus 1. And for our number 2, x squared minus 20x plus 100. Okay, look for the factors of our x squared. Obviously, that is x times x. And for our 100, think of a number multiplied by itself. The answer is 100. That is, yes, 10 times 10. So this 10 times 10 is 100. Then let's now solve for the factors. Copy the first one, x, and whatever the sign of our middle term will be minus 10. And lastly, copy the second factor. Again, whatever the sign will be the sign here, x minus 10. Easy. Then let's proceed to number 2. X squared. Sorry, that is number 3. 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. Okay, so we have 9x squared and we have 4. So what are the factors of 9? Number that is multiplied by itself, product is 9. So there is 3. Your x squared is x times 3x is 9x squared. For your 4, that is 2 times 2. Get the first pair, and whatever the sign of our middle term will be the sign also of our factors, that is positive. Since that is positive for the middle term, get our first pair, 3x plus 2, and for our second pair, 3x plus 2. And that ends factoring perfect square trinomial.